Hey, good evening, friends. It's Carl. Welcome to the bathroom. It's Monday evening. Time for the Monday scrape, I think is what I'm going to be calling these. So it's Monday night, and I've got to shave. So let's get shaving, and I've got a few things to chit-chat about. I don't know. We shall see. So what are we going to use? Well, keeping in theme with the budget shave challenge that's been going around, I did a pretty cheap one the other day. I'm going to do a Shavette edition today, so we'll be using, well, I guess it's really not going to be super budget because of the brush I chose, but whatever. CO Bigelow. So Menthol Monday budget shave, $10 at your local, what's that fragrance place in the mall? Bath & Body Works. $10 a tube at your Bath & Body Works, and that is the same as Parasso Green. For the shaver, we'll be using the Sedef Turkish razor Shavette. I bought 6 for $20 on eBay, $24. So that's what, 6 at 24, that's about $4 a piece. If my math is right. You guys know I don't math, so $14. The blade that's in there is the Tiger Platinum. This would be the third use on it. That's free because it was a gift. And then for the brush, the most expensive piece, the Atomic Rocket by PAA. I don't remember how much I paid for this. I want to say it was around 20 bucks, maybe a little bit more. So this is still not the cheapest shave in the world, but the razor is cheap. There was a couple of people, I watched a few videos here and there over the weekend. Didn't make any comments, but there were a couple people who said, you know, everybody tried to cheap out and use DEs. So here's my cheap Shavette shave. All right. So fresh out of the shower, had a good day off, kind of. So we'll get shaving. And we're just going to do a quick face lather. With the brush. We'll rub this into the scruff. That's gonna be plenty. So yeah, man, Monday, my last day off. Yesterday was Sunday, Mother's Day. Yeah, Sunday, Monday, that's how that works. Anyway, yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to all you mothers out there who watch. So anyway, what started off to be a pretty typical Monday turned into a little bit of an adventure. So this morning, I had my typical Monday stuff planned, meal prep and then errands. I take my truck down to go get service, oil change, and whatnot. I had to stop and get some labs drawn at the doctor's office just for my 6-month checkup to see how I'm doing without all the meds. Since the weight loss, they took me off a bunch of my medicines. So we're checking cholesterols and kidney functions and all that kind of jazz, just to see how I'm doing, if I need to be put back on anything or have doses adjusted, blah, blah, blah. And I'll have my first ever telemedicine visit next week to discuss the results with the doctor, so that should be fun. So I went and did that. No big deal. About halfway through my oil change service, I texted the work wife just to see how things were going, make sure she was doing okay, like I mentioned in a couple of my videos. Since this whole virus pandemic thing started, and our team's been assigned to our task, she has been working like a mad woman, doing an outstanding job, really stepped up to the plate, has proven herself to be quite the leader, and has stretched not only her leadership abilities, but her management abilities greatly. She's doing really good. So pleasure working for and with her. So anyway, so I text her just to see how things are going. Make sure she's not pulling her hair out. Sorry, I think I was out of camera. And you get a text back from her that says, well, I think I'm gonna have to self-isolate. And I was like, what? So a few minutes later, she gives me a call and says, well, it's official. Somebody that we have been in contact with has tested positive, and we are part of their contact tracing loop. So that means we have to be tested and self-isolate for 14 days. Pending test results. So that was exciting because I got that phone call from her, or had that discussion with her. And, you know, I figured it was only a matter of time, working so closely, doing the kind of things that we're doing, in and out of hot spots and facilities, and where people have tested positive and performing nasal swabs and doing that whole jazz. Figured it was only a matter of time before one of us or somebody we knew tested positive, and we were all going to have to go get tested and see what was going on. So luckily not the whole team, just her and I. So went down today, or she told me what happened to her, and she said, hey, you could probably expect a phone call and a request for testing. I said, okay, no problem. And so sure enough, before I got home from the auto dealership, my phone rang, and it was the powers that be saying, hey, you have been identified as somebody who's been in close contact with a positive patient. We need you to go ahead and arrange to get tested. And so we got the test scheduled. I came home, worked a little bit on my meal prep for the week. Not really considering the ramifications. I figured, you know, hey, I'll get swabbed. Maybe have to take a day of work off until the results come back. They usually come back within 24 to 48 hours. So maybe I have to take a day or two of work off until the tests come back. I am asymptomatic, so didn't really consider anything beyond that. But knowing what I know, and I should have. So anyway, came home, did some meal prep, went at my appointed time to the appointed place and got the appointed nasal swab. Talked with the work wife / boss lady and said, hey, I know I gotta take a few days off. Is there anything I can log in remotely and do from home? And she said, no, not really. She was like, you know, because most of our tasks are out and about stuff. So not much I could do from the house. So I figured, well, okay, I'll just have to use benefit time or something like that. So I texted the bigger boss, or emailed the bigger boss. She said, follow up with the bigger boss and see what they say, how to handle it. I said, okay. So I emailed the bigger boss, and like within a minute of me getting that email sent, my email went off again, and it said, congratulations, you are off on administrative leave until the 21st. So that's about 10 days. And I should have known it, because whenever you're waiting for your test results to come back, you have to self-isolate for 14 days. So I don't know why that didn't cross my mind. So I bought myself 2 weeks off on administrative time. So I've got 10 days or 2 weeks, assuming my tests come back negative, of hanging out in my apartment, doing who knows what, being bored out of my mind. There's enough little bit of work for me to do, maybe about an hour or so a day. So I'll get to log in and do that. And then after that, I guess I'm going to catch up on shaving videos. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about it and I was like, well, you know, I could go fishing because nobody's out there. Nobody's going to see me. I'm not going to come in contact with anybody. But that's probably not the most responsible thing to do. Self-isolation means stay in your apartment. Fill out the sickness log every day. Check your temperature twice a day. Monitor symptoms, blah, blah, blah. And report any changes to the local health authority. So, that's it, man. That's my new exciting news. I knew it was only a matter of time, like I said. Before one of us got sick or one of us was called in for testing. It just stinks that, you know, that it did happen. You know, luckily for me, I live alone, so self-isolating is easy. You know, but those folks with families and whatnot have a little bit more difficult time, I imagine. So yeah, I'm going to be hanging out at the house for 10 days, doing nothing. Checking my temperature every few hours, letting my mind play tricks on me, and every little cough and sniffle is going to mean I'm dying. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, it was only a matter of time. Luckily, it's all just preventative. Nobody is sick aside from the person who tested positive that caused us to have to get tested. But nobody on our team is sick. The rest of the team wasn't exposed. So it's just a waiting game now. Should have my test results back sometime, probably Wednesday. And yeah, maybe we'll go from there, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, that's the excitement of my life recently. Other than that, it was a good week, I guess. I don't know. Good. Restful weekend. Did a little fishing. Did a little exercising. Did a little kayaking. And yeah, that's it. Did a lot of junk food eating. I ate terrible this weekend. I cannot. I don't know if it's the stress from work or what, or just the little bit of down in the dumps that I've had recently. That's really getting a lot better. But I am still having problems controlling what I put in my mouth on the weekends. I do really good during the week, and I think part of it is because I'm in such a habit when I meal prep that I don't meal prep for 7 days. I meal prep for 4 for the shift, you know, the work days, because there's no time to cook or whatever when I get home. But then on the weekends, typically it's a little slower paced and I have time to cook fresh meals and eat warm food, which is always nice. But I have been lazy and having free weekends, which is not good. I haven't put on very much weight, but I'm, you know, I've told you guys that my goal is to kind of stay between 185 and 195. And I am staying consistently at around 195. need to get back down closer to 190 is where I'd like to stay. Just not pushing that envelope quite so much. So I'm really gonna try and work on that this week. My workouts have been great. The new workout plan that Christian over at Never Compromise Nutrition and Training has put me on. Added some exercises for this cycle, particularly some challenging leg work, which is stuff that I've always been afraid to do with my back. He's easing me into doing some squats and deadlifts, and so far, so good. And you know, I remember when I was going to PT, they had me doing squats, total gym squats on the warm-up, which is one of the reasons why I bought my total gym. But we were also doing lightweight body mechanics squats to simulate lifting and moving objects in patients. With proper body mechanics. And you know, there's an exercise physiologist on Instagram that I follow. He's a PhD. The name of his page is Rehab. The name of his page and his business is Rehab Fix. And one of the things he really focuses on is low back pain therapy. And he actually has online programs and stuff, and he does online assessments. And I'm just not quite there yet. My back is doing actually pretty decent. But one of the things I heard him say in several of his videos is one of the goals for all of his clients is to get them doing squats and deadlifts, because it's one of the best ways to not only strengthen all the accessory muscles for your back, but it also strengthens your back, you know. And I remember from when I was in PT, basically one of the reasons they were emphasizing squats and stuff like that was because if you can strengthen the accessory muscles, the glutes and the glutes and the hamstrings and the quads and all that good stuff, then it gives more support to your back, which actually physiologically makes sense. That's why they do it. You know, they're therapists and they know what they're doing. But yeah, and it's just one of those things I've always been scared to do, because when I was doing it in PT, it always seemed to aggravate things. But one, that's probably because I was not in the greatest shape. I was still carrying a lot of extra body weight, and I was probably being impatient with it and not trusting the therapy. Because, you know, I mean, I don't know if you've ever had to go to physical therapy, but when you're doing it, it's just such a pain in the butt, because you have to go and you do the workouts for like an hour, and it's a hassle. It's not, I don't know. It just seems dumb. It seems like a waste of time. Every time I've had to do PT for various things, it's always just been such a hassle. And then trying to keep up with the exercises on your own has never worked for me either, because I'm lazy and stubborn. But now that my back is generally better, relatively pain-free most of the time, I think getting some of those exercises in and looking back on it, it probably would have been smarter to stick with it from the beginning. But hey, what do I know? I'm a knucklehead. What I do know is I've been here flapping my yap this whole time. And I haven't even mentioned the shave, which is fantastic. The Tiger blade is definitely on its last leg. And any blade you put in my opinion, in the Sedef should be on its last leg, because it's so hard to seat the blade in this thing that I always have to use some type of little plastic. I use like a dental floss dispenser to kind of push the blade in this way and then force it down so that the blade is seated level. So that always dulls the blade, I'm sure. So I usually try not to use this on brand new blades, because having to load it that way definitely reduces the life of the blade. All right, fantastic. Let me get rinsed off. Yes, very good, very good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It could be better here. That's always the case, though. What else can I say? I'm going to do the post off camera. I don't even know what I'm going to use yet. I didn't pull anything out. Once again, thank you guys for watching. You guys know about Manny's father passing away. If you are so inclined, there is a 2 ways you can help the family. Let me start off that way. There is a GoFundMe fundraiser page floating around there. I'll try and put the link in the description to help with funeral costs. If you are so inclined, please feel free to give. The family would really appreciate it. And the other way is there is a raffle that some of the wet shavers in the community are putting on, organized by Christopher David Bailey and Kevy. I don't remember who else. It was CBD and somebody else. I can't remember. I looked at the Facebook video the other day and I blanked out on who the other shaver is. I want to say it's Kevy Parr, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, they're having a raffle, some really nice stuff. I'll try and find the link to that also and put that in the description. If you're so inclined, feel free to enter that as well. Help the family take a chance on winning some really good shave stuff. That's really all I got. Once again, thank you guys and gals so much for your time. I appreciate all your support. I'll keep you updated on the self-quarantine. No matter what you do, go spend some time with your friends and family. It's really important. But during these times, make sure you're at least 6 feet apart, or 2 meters if you're living in the UK, or one of those heathen countries that uses the metric system. Anyway, thanks again for your time. Have a great evening. Have a great week. God bless. I'll see you next time. Good night.